Senator Braun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I was going to another committee hearing, and I just talked to Madam Chair, we had 3 of them at the same time today. Seems like we could organize ourselves a little better. I was listening to your conversation with Senator Hagerty, and I did not hear the end result, and I'm assuming he probably asked, do we need a special prosecutor to look into the Hunter Biden, affair? Do you think we need to? And I would then have one follow-up question to that. So do we need a special prosecutor to look into that?
As you know, the investigation is being run and supervised by the United States Attorney in Delaware, who is an appointee of the previous administration and continues on as the United States Attorney. The question of whether to have a special counsel is one that it's an internal decision-making in the department, so I don't want to make any judgments one way or the other, but I'm quite comfortable with the United States Attorney for that district continuing in the role that he's playing.
So a follow-up question that would be, of course, special prosecutor counsel Mueller, was assigned in that whole Steele dossier issue, which now has been debunked. If you had been in that capacity then, do you think a special counsel was needed there as well?
It's hard to put myself back into that circumstances. And then, of course, there would be for me to be in that position, there would have been a different president, so I'm not sure I can answer that hypothetical.
Well, it's obvious that would be a question that many would wonder about in terms of what that standard is, what that consistency is, and it seems like it would be the same from one administration to the next. Got a question that really is probably more pertinent in the sense that what's happening on our southern border is confusing in the sense that the administration says we don't have enough resources, done things from the beginning that has, I was down there with 17 other senators roughly a year ago, and to give you a description of the immensity, it had gone from record low illegal crossings, and I'm one that believes we need to secure the border and then roll our sleeves up and fix all the issues associated with it. We had risen from, I think, 40,000 to 70,000. This last month, it was 212,000, I think 60-some thousand gotaways. I mean, it has exploded beyond anybody's imagination. I think self-induced. And then there are conflicting statements that part of it's due to not having enough resources. Are we resourced at the border properly? And that would be how we address any illegal crossings. That seems to be delegated to lower levels of authority. Isn't that confusing? And in light of the issue, in terms of where it's at, do we need to do something differently? And does your office need to be outspoken about trying to fix it?
So I want to be careful about explaining what our role is, because we do need more resources. I think most of the resources you're referring to are Department of Homeland Security resources, so I'll leave that for that secretary to express what they need. But we have asked for $1.35 billion for our immigration courts, and $1 billion of which is to reduce the immigration court backlog. So the things that our job is to run the immigration courts after we get referrals from DHS. So we have already onboarded everyone we can as immigration judges. We asked in fiscal year 22 for 100 more. Again, no fault of this committee because you gave us the right mark, but as a consequence of the omnibus, that was not funded. So we're asking for 200 new immigration judge teams, a total of 1,200 new staff for that purpose. We've also asked for money for a virtual court initiative so that we can run these court proceedings more efficiently and more effectively and from whatever area. If we get the additional immigration judges, we will move them to the border. We're already going to be moving them to the border as it is.
And can you describe what your request is compared to what it was in prior years? What magnitude of difference?
So, yeah, it's an additional 1,200 staff for.
In addition to how much before? So we can,
It'll bring us to a total of 834 IJs. The staff includes all their clerks, et cetera. So with 200 more, we'll get to 834. So 834 minus 200 was 634 is what we had before.
and just with the arithmetic I put out there
Yeah.
earlier, the problem has quadrupled or quintupled. So it would beg the question, are we putting enough resources to it, or is it kind of lip service because we know it's become a big issue? I would advise maybe that might not be adequate, given the magnitude of the current problem that's still predicted to go up even by 50% more.
So that's a fair question, Senator. Of course, we didn't get what we asked for the last time, so we're trying to be realistic about what we can ask for. But resources are not the only thing we're doing. We've also adopted a new asylum officer rule with DHS so that asylum decisions are made by the asylum officers, not by the IJs, so that IJs, immigration judges, so they won't have to do that. And then if there are denials, there'll be a streamlined process, which should reduce the amount of time from current 4 years to 6 months. We also have a dedicated dockets in order to be able to better distribute the work among our IJs. So it's a combination of things. We want more resources, and we're trying to streamline the whole process and put more of the work.
I don't think in the...
Thank you, Senator Braun.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry.